that's where you're going to build your momentum. If the plan goes on a shelf and nothing happens, then you lose the momentum you've built. If you can get some of those priority projects in the ground, then that momentum moves on. We want the city of Spartanburg to work very closely with the county and SCDOT to try to implement projects as new roadway and roadway improvement projects occur. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we have recommended consideration of a full-time bicycle and pedestrian coordinator. And this could be a position that could be cost shared among the city and the county. But again, we have found in the past that these types of projects, unless someone is bird dogging them on a daily basis, they just don't get done. You need someone who has a focus for this. And that goes right to the last bullet, the funding sources. Someone who can be looking constantly for those funding sources. And so naturally what we're trying to get to here is a higher quality of life. Certainly Spartanburg is a wonderful community now, but with what we put into this plan, we believe it can be all that much better. And finally, I'd be remiss if I did not thank you for your time tonight. I'm more than happy to attempt to answer any questions you have.
Thank you for the great work. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. I think Ernie with BP Barber did a great job of presenting the bike ped master plan. It's a very thick document. He was able to boil it down into a few slides for you tonight. I'm here before you tonight to ask council to approve a resolution adopting the Spartanburg bicycle and pedestrian master plan. And if you have any questions for me, I would like to take them at this time.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you could just refresh us again, I know we had an incentive at one time earlier this year or last year regarding bicycle parking requirements.
That's correct.
Could you refresh it out?
Yes, we have council had approved staff adopting a section in the current zoning ordinance that deals with parking requirements. If you as a business come in and you do not meet our current parking requirements, we do have an incentive that will allow you to incorporate bicycle parking or bike racks and at a 20, 30, 50%, I'm sorry, I think it's 10, 20, or 30% reduction in parking. So for instance, if you are required to put in 30 parking spaces, but based on your lot configuration, you can't get them all in, we can look at potentially a bicycle kind of swap where you may take 10% of that, so you put in 3 bike racks as opposed to putting the required parking to get you up to that number. So we've had a number of businesses use that, as well as we're working with Partners for Active Living, in that they go out and seek private businesses that are interested in putting bike racks in. We've been working with them, and a number of businesses have done that. And we're delighted that people are taking that incentive as well as that project that we're working with Partners for Active Living on.
Thank you. And I just want to follow up with, are there other opportunities for business partners to, after we adopt this resolution, to take advantage of completing parts of this plan?
I think what we can do definitely, as already said, is that we can continue to use this document so it doesn't sit on the shelf. We want this to be an active document, and staff, along with bicycle pedestrian advocacy and SCDOT and SPATS, will continue to look for incentives to try to work with private businesses in order for them to incorporate bike racks. But we have this in the zoning ordinance. It is in the proposed urban code. We now have, if council approves, we'll have a bike ped master plan that we can present to private businesses and let them know that we're very serious and try to promote bicycle and pedestrian activities throughout the city.
Thank you.
Ms. Monroe,
Yes.
comparatively speaking with other municipalities in the state, have they also come up with something similar to this?
I will turn to maybe Ernie or Jean or Laura, because I believe Greenville may have something, but I don't know enough of that.
I was actually the author of the Columbia Area Bike and Pedestrian Plan, which yours is much better than it, by the way. I can say that because I'm the author of the other one. So Columbia certainly has one. Charleston has one. Greenville is getting ready to put one together in the new year. I'm trying to think of other that may pretty much. Florence actually has they have more of an interconnected trail plan. It's more of a greenway plan. Greenville County also has a greenway plan, which is a little different to a bike and pedestrian plan. But yes, this is right on. I would say, based on the document you have here today, that you're leading the way, based on my experience. So,
Thank you.
sure.
Any other questions or comments? I think the work that the committee has done, and we have a list of steering committee, and is remarkable. And we look forward, I know Lisa's here, and look forward to working with the county, and I think it's great work.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve.
We have a motion by Ms. Carbo, seconded in unison by Mr. Reader and Mr. Scott. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to note that we've got a lot of folks here who are invested in this process, not just the folks on the list, but you see a lot of them sitting or standing around because they're out of the room. The folks in the spandex are very thank you for your efforts too, but it's a lot of different people that work toward the collective effort on this, and I think it's a good community effort.
I'd just like to add, I hope your effort don't stop tonight. If we're going to implement this and carry it on out, we're going to have to help. We're going to have to continue to have the help. So just get ready to go to work. Thank you.
We have a motion duly seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So with alacrity, we vote 7-0. And we thank everybody for their efforts, and I think the mayor-elect said it right, we need to keep playing. I'd be remiss by not commenting that Kate Riva and Jerome Rice are both here. I should have introduced you all. They will be up here next month, and we look forward to watching them and sending their emails.
What if it stand up so everybody can look at it?
Item number 9 is a consent agenda. It is the annexation on the east side of Spartanburg. I am not required to read every one of those numbers, but it is on the, for the record, it is on the board with specificity, and it is part of the consent agenda, but it's the only item in it.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve.
Second.
Ms. Carvo moves to approve. Mr. Reverend Smith moves to second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
The record should show that council voted on item 9A 6-1. Item number 9 is a special presentation by the Freewheelers of Spartanburg, and Mark James, I think my sheet says it's 60.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Mark James. I am the current president of the Freewheelers of Spartanburg. As you see, we do have several that both bicycled here today, and I just drove, but I put on my.
We like that. We like the logo on the front.
We are about active living, so all those who are bicycling related, if you stand for just a second. We got coming in late, but they're coming. I am a certified league instructor with the League of American Bicyclists. The league actually is what gave the bike town designation for Spartanburg, and there are things that had to be, I guess, viewed upon in the designation, and part of it is the master plan that you're looking at. 5 years ago, I got back into cycling, went to the doctor, and he said, you got to get some of this off and get your heart back. So I started cycling. I have a 7-year-old. At the time, he was 3. I actually do live in Spartanburg County, but I live in Greer. So at that time, there's still not. Don't hold that against me. But there wasn't really a place to ride. I wanted to connect with my son and vice versa. So I went to the airport, which has not necessarily rolling hills, and put him in a little trailer behind me. Then we'll go up and